I'm feeling very nervous right now. Just the thought of speaking to nearly 200 people is so surreal. Like, I just never thought I'd be at this point, standing in front of all of you. Well, when I first started this project, I struggled so much trying to find a topic that stands out. And I just find it so hard to find or to come up with a topic that is not simple or repeated. Well, if you look at the title of my talk, How to Manage Stress, you might think, well, it's pretty simple, right? Yeah, I agree. Well, you see, I just ended up sticking to this idea, even though it just sounds so bland. When I look around, like, there's so many other speakers, so many other people with very interesting, unique ideas that just never been talked about. And I just look at myself and I just thought, I feel so small. I feel like my idea is not good enough. I feel like I have to try harder. I feel like I just don't deserve to be here. But then, just when I'm about to give up, I just thought to myself, I could have quit like months ago, and I'm still standing here. So I just looked back and thought to myself, why exactly? And I'm still standing here. Why didn't I quit already? Well, maybe it's because I feel like it's worth a try. My ideas is worth sharing. And then one thing just come up to my mind that we initially started this project because of the idea that every ideas matter. No matter how small or how simple it is, it's worth sharing. So I just feel like I want to give it a try. I'm here because I want to help you guys manage stress. Because, tell me you didn't hear about stress management before, because there's probably many motivational videos out there on the internet. And I've come across many of them as well. But why is it that there are still people who struggle with stress? It's such a common problem that every people face in their everyday life. So I just wish that me standing here today maybe could have helped you out a little with your own stress relieving journey, because I'm still trying to relieve my own stress as well. It's not definite that you can get rid of stress, but you can definitely find ways to work around it and make use of it, right? So let me share my experience when I was in year 8. Looking back at that time, it was 2021. And I'm sure y'all are familiar with that period because there's this very serious pandemic going on at the time, right? I'm sure you guys know what it is. It's COVID. And I'm sure many of you struggled during the COVID season as well because it had a significant impact on me. It's what made me turn into myself, who I am today. Because it's COVID season and there's pandemic going on, students are forced to learn via online platforms, and I just feel like there's both benefit from learning online and also the negative impact on it. For me, I just feel like I'm not human anymore. When I learn online, I can't meet anyone, I can't go anywhere. I have to stay at home It's like, imagine not being able to meet anyone or, just have any social life for like an entire year. It was a lot for a teenager like me. It feels like you just lost your entire year that you could have gained experience. Because like, the teenage years is the most fun out of all like the stages of your life. Like, at one point, I just started feeling like I'm a robot or some machine in some factory. Like, I just couldn't do anything apart from work. But that's until I literally broke down in front of my mom. Everything was just so stressful. And I just feel like I can't take it anymore. I feel like it's too overwhelming. Well, the funny thing is, I did get quite exceeding great that academic year. If I remember correctly, it was around like 3.97. But, looking back at all those sleep I've sacrificed, it really wasn't worth it. And I definitely do not recommend anyone to overwork themselves to that point. Hence, why I've always wondered, like, how some people are able to manage a lot of responsibilities without even losing their sanity, while always just struggle with the same matter. Well, I'm here today to share to you all my own experience and the techniques I found useful to deal with stress. But first off, let me ask you guys one thing. Does anyone in this room desire to learn quicker, have better memory or better concentration? Well, these are regarded as the advantages of minimizing stress. But before we get into that, I reckon you'd like to know how stress affects humans, what occurs within our body and mind. Well, stress is a normal human reaction which prompts us to address obstacles and dangers in our life. In short bursts, stress can be positive, such as when it helps you avoid danger or meet a deadline. But when stress starts interfering with our abilities to complete tasks, control our emotions, maintain relationships, or maintain our quality of life, it can have the opposite effect. It can cause problems with your health, such as like general problems, including concentration, memory, decision making, and burnout, and even serious health problems like digestive issues, autoimmune illnesses, depression, and anxiety. According to the American Psychological Association, or APA, people in the age range of 18 to 33 years old report they have the highest levels of stress in the US. And around 7 in 10 adults report work stress affects their personal relationships. Well, now that we're informed of the potential consequences stress may pursue, in which ways can we manage stress? I'll be speaking mainly on the behalf of work-related stress, but you may adapt some techniques for other purposes as find suitable. Let's start with the most important tactic, which is to set priorities. This could come in a form of a rough to-do list of what you'd like to do in a day, or even setting specific times to complete each task. Nevertheless, this is not always necessary. Based on my experience after using this technique, I often found myself ending up procrastinating or just struggling to recharge after an exhausting day and completed none of the work. As you can see, if you set really specific time frames or goals without considering its possibilities of achievement, you may end up with unmeasurable targets, which only makes you criticize yourself further for being unable to complete it. Therefore, I suggest you finish things in class or anywhere, anytime, where possible. Make the most of your time when you're most productive so that you won't find yourself ending up with everything piled up. Also, remember that it's alright to take a day or two off in a streak of a week. It's not that taking a day off means you've completely reset all that you achieved. It's not that taking one day off means all that you've done through the whole week has been gone to waste. It's not like that. The progress is still there. So don't be too harsh on yourself when it comes to taking a little break from time to time. The progress is still there. So don't worry too much, and remember, taking a break is still crucial for your own mental health. Next, go do other things and come back. Take your time. This can be known as the focus and diffuse mode, a technique popularized by Barbara Oakley. The focus mode is like a sessions of productivity. Most of our learning process occurs during this session. On the other hand, the diffuse mode is like when we let our minds wander. It's when we subconsciously mull over problems in our lives. I totally recommend this technique, as I've been doing so unconsciously for many times without even acknowledging that this is an actual technique. Still, it worked out super well. When I'm stuck with something, I just tend to take time off of it and return later when my creativity comes back. Although, since this technique does require some time and patience, I might not want to recommend this to anyone who's hurriedly trying to meet their deadlines. Still, if you're stuck with something and you feel like you can't find any ideas or can't come up with any ideas, try this technique out. Maybe it could work for you, because it worked for me as well. Lastly is the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle states that for roughly 80% of success comes from 20% of causes. Basically, you spend 20% of your time on tasks which bring out the most success, instead of wasting your time on the 80% which does not benefit you. You can apply this to anything in life. For example, if I want to make slides, instead of decorating the slides the entire lesson, I could shift my focus into actually getting the main idea done first. Because the part which matters the most for a presentation is the information itself, right? Like, if you have the decorations but no information at all, you wouldn't be able to really talk about anything. Also, it's another great advice for people who stop striving too high. Well, this may sound kind of controversial, as it is arguably better to thrive to exceed your comfort zone. Therefore, I suggest you try to still exceed your comfort zone, but also keep in mind that it's alright to drop some expectations which are too high and clearly pressuring you in an unhealthy manner. Remember, you don't have to always keep that 100% all the time. It doesn't matter if you just do the bare minimum. That is enough. Keeping that 100% all the time is obviously very stressful, and it's near impossible to achieve. So it's fine if you just relax a bit and let things go. Things that you can't control. Like my talk right now. If I just suddenly speak of something nonsense, or I just come up with something that I wasn't planning to, I just said it already, I couldn't go back and change whatever I just done. So just let it go. Take everything easy and just go with your own pace. Go with the flow. To conclude my point, stress is a normal human reaction in which you cannot simply get rid of, but you can definitely find ways to work around and make use of it. Also, before I go, I want to remind you all that mental health is as important as physical health. So let's start taking care of our feelings and keep in mind that our feelings matter just as much as our physical health. I wish you all the best of luck on your stress relieving journey. Thank you.